If you think shrimp Alfredo is good, wait until you try this coconut shrimp Alfredo. Creamy, rich, and restaurant quality, made at home. Let's get cooking. Open your cupboard and your fridge, grab your ingredients, and let's make this recipe. Welcome to Chef Henry Kitchen, and I see lots of new faces. As based on the title and the holiday season is over, this Alfredo recipe is something that you're gonna love. Shrimp, and there's lots of shrimp right here. And also coconut. I de-shell the coconut. So knowing me, I like to use fresh coconut milk, and I like to make it right here, right in front of you guys. Just come a little bit closer. I'm just gonna set this right here. I'm gonna wash the coconut. Now the coconut is washed, and I even add the cup of water, and this is what I'm gonna use to blend up the coconut. I have my blender set up, so I'm gonna cut the coconut and I'm gonna add it into the blender. I am using a small knife. You can do this either time, but I just like to show you guys where it's done over here in Chef Henry Kitchen. I'm just gonna get the coconut cut up just like this. And also, if you're not subscribers yet, go and hit the subscribe button, and also hit the notification bell, and also share, because this recipe is a game changer. So I'm gonna add the water. I'm going to cover, and we're gonna start the blending. Now the blending is complete. Time to strain and separate the milk from the pulp, which is the coconut trash in Jamaica. Juicing coconut like this, where you blend it up and you use this squeeze bag, you don't have to worry, you just discard, and this bag is also reusable. So that we extract the coconut milk. And if you are in the Caribbean and you're watching, you know what we do with this. It's the trash. We always add like brown sugar to it, and it become homemade candy. Now I finish extracting the coconut milk, and I will be going through all the ingredients that we're gonna use in this recipe as we go along. I'm gonna start cleaning up the shrimp. And when I say clean up the shrimp, this one have the shell on. I'm gonna remove the shell and also wash the shrimp. And this is a lot of shrimp. We are using 2.5 pounds of shrimp. This bowl is for the shrimp, and this is for the outer shell. So we are going to remove all the shell from the shrimp. And this shrimp is pre-cleaned, so it's easy to just remove the shell. And I know you just watching and be like, that's a lot of shrimp. He's cooking for a whole crowd. And I will just say, just continue watching to the end and just think about coconut shrimp Alfredo when I'm finished. Now I'm on the last one, and I was saving the tail, and I go through and I remove the tail. Who wanna eat a nice bowl of coconut shrimp Alfredo and then still have to worry about shell? Nice and clean. I'm gonna discard all of the shells. I finish removing the shell. I'm gonna use some lemon juice to wash off the shrimp. You can use lime juice. Some people like to use vinegar. So just squirt some on the shrimp. And this way after cleaning the shrimp, the lemon juice gonna remove the rawness from the shrimp. And also if you use vinegar, it's gonna do the same thing. So guys, I hope you all are following along. Now I'm gonna rinse this off 3 to 4 times. Before I add season to the shrimp, I have my pot set up. While I'm seasoning the shrimp, I can also be boiling the pasta because we're gonna need it. And I'm gonna tell you what type of pasta I'm using. And this is the pasta that I like. If you like other pasta, you can use it. I am using penne and also the bow tie pasta. So I'm gonna add some water in the pot and I'm gonna make the water heat up before I add the pasta. I added 6 cups of water inside the pot and it's warm water. So I'm just gonna heat it up some more. Turn my stove on to the high settings. Place the cover on. I am going to add a tablespoon of salt and also a tablespoon of vegetable oil. And the oil is for one reason: stopping the pasta from sticking to the bottom of the pot. I like to measure everything I use. We are using 3 cups of each pasta. I am starting with 2 cups of penne going in. We're gonna add 2 cups of the bow tie pasta. We are going to add another cup of both. What I like to do, I like to mix both of them together so it can store away and use less storage. Now we have the pasta on the stove. I'm gonna start adding season to the shrimp. You know I like to get my shrimp well seasoned. I am gonna start by adding garlic salt, 1 teaspoon. I am going to add a teaspoon of onion powder. Now for the Cajun season. I am going to add 1 teaspoon. I am going to add 1 teaspoon of Italiano season. We are going to add all-purpose seasoning, 1 tablespoon. And some of the season we are using is the Clubhouse brand. I am not a sponsor. Smaller bottles are easier to remember. I am going to massage the season in. Now we are finished adding seasoning to the shrimp, and look at this seasoned goodness. I am going to cover the shrimp to lock in the seasoning. The pasta is boiling. I am going to stir it around, and I'm going to show you a trick so we don't get the water floating over on the stove. I'm going to place my wooden spoon, put the cover on, and it's going to stop the pasta from boiling over. We're waiting on the pasta to cook. I'm going to start cutting up some green onion, garlic, regular onion, and this is what I recommend. And also I'm going to add sweet pepper. I'm going to start cutting up the sweet pepper, and I'm using half of each sweet pepper. For the green onion, I'm gonna just cut it up fine. And if you're just learning to cook and you're using a knife for the first time, my advice is to take your time and get lots of practice. All of this cutting skill I'm demonstrating, it's been years of practicing, and if you see me crying, just know I love you guys. Now we are finished prepping the vegetable and green seasoning. I'm going to check on the pasta. I'm going to give it a good stir, and the pasta is finished cooking. I am going to shut the stove off. I'm going to strain this off. And guys, everything I'm showing you, this is what I recommend and this is what I do in my kitchen. You're going to get the same result I'm getting just by following all of these steps. Now we're going to fry up the shrimp using this pot. This is a pot that's going to do everything. I am going to set my stove to the high settings. I am going to add 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. I am just going to wait until the oil is hot. Now that the oil is hot, I'm going to add the shrimp, and the shrimp is well seasoned. We are going to fry up the shrimp for 3 to 4 minutes. Keep stirring the shrimp while it is frying so it cooks evenly. Now that we finish frying up the shrimp, I'm going to shut the stove off. I am going to remove the shrimp into this bowl. We just want to leave the seasoned oil behind. Now that we finish removing the shrimp, so I'm going to keep the stove on at the highest settings. We are going to add the vegetable and green seasoning into the same oil, and this oil is seasoned because we seasoned the shrimp already. We're going to give it a good stir. I am going to add a teaspoon of pimento berry, and allspice is the same, and this is just for extra flavor. I am going to add a teaspoon of dry thyme leaf, and I'm going to mix it in. This coconut shrimp Alfredo sauce, this is my recipe and you only get it in Chef Henry kitchen. Into the pot with the sauteed vegetable and green season, I'm going to add 1.5 cup of heavy cream. I'm going to measure the coconut milk. One and a half cup of coconut milk. I am going to place the cover on, and I'm going to let it come to a rolling boil before I do a taste. Now that the pot is at a rolling boil, I'm going to remove the cover. I am going to do a taste, then I'm going to add more seasoning. I always use 2 spoons when I'm tasting the pot. We're going to add more seasoning that we used early on. Different spoon. We're going to start out with the Italian seasoning. We're going to add 1 teaspoon. The garlic salt, 1 teaspoon. We're going to add onion powder, 1 teaspoon. And for the Cajun seasoning, we're gonna add 2 teaspoons equal to 1 tablespoon. And the all-purpose seasoning, we're just gonna add 1 teaspoon. We're gonna stir the seasoning in. We don't want none of the seasoning to get stuck to the bottom, and everything is creaming well. Now for another taste. And now we have the right amount of seasoning. I am going to add the Parmesan cheese, and this is half a cup. Now we're gonna add the shrimp. Now I added the shrimp and I'm giving it a good stir, and check out this creamy goodness. And I'm telling you, after doing the taste, this coconut shrimp Alfredo make it be the #1 on your table. I am going to place the cover on, and I'm going to let it go for 2 minutes. It's been 2 minutes. I'm going to open and I'm going to stir. And this sauce, I want to show you. So this doesn't give split justice. Look at this sauce. That's the sauce you need. Time to add the pasta into the pot. And I'm going to slowly mix it in. I am going to cover. I'm going to let this go for 3 minutes. And this is just going to help the sauce to get a little more thick, and also the pasta to soak up that sauce. Because you see everything that I am demonstrating, and you see everything is coming along fine, and I'm telling you the taste from the sauce. But I know if you think about this, you can taste it. It's been the exact 3 minutes. I want to check, and the coconut shrimp Alfredo, and I'm going to give it the final stir. I'm going to shut the stove off, and I'm going to make a plate, and I will see you all for the tastes. Coconut shrimp Alfredo on a plate. And everything you see in this recipe is only here in Chef Henry Kitchen. Again, it's legendary. And look at the settings. Everything is well plated, and I'm going to go in for the taste. I am not even gonna try some more. I want you to make this and come back into the comment section. Just follow everything. Just like what I'm tasting here. I know you guys want some. Here you go. Nice and creamy coconut Alfredo. I'm gonna enjoy this, guys, and take a look at it again, and see you on the next one. From my kitchen to yours, just a screen away.